Hello everybody. Welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well and that you're all having a fantastic day. First off, let me say this. I realized it's been exactly 2 weeks now. I was having a discussion with a friend that I never take time off. And you may have noticed that sometimes I'm usually making 2 videos a day on TMI. And usually a video every other day on my other channel, Money Rules. And my friend was like, take a little time off for yourself. So I decided to do that. It just so happened that I decided to take a break when the cryptocurrency and world markets decided to completely collapse. A very big thank you to everyone out there who was sending me messages and emails and stuff like that. I stayed away from the market completely. I mean, really, I was off for 14 days, roughly, give or take, if you look at it the entire time, doesn't matter. But around 3 or 4 days ago, a lot of my friends began to send me messages about certain events that were happening in the market, which we are also going to go over. So I knew nothing of what was happening. I kind of was in my own world. I was traveling around for a bit. Very big hello to everyone who I met on my travels. I actually ran into a couple of viewers. Hello to all of you out there. Told you I'd be back home on Tuesday. Yeah, I think that's basically everything. So I am doing okay. I did need a break. Sorry for the long intro. It's just more of an explanation because I looked over a lot of my emails and Twitter comments earlier this morning to see what had been going on. And a lot of people were a bit worried. I'm doing okay. I just needed a break. Yes. And without the long, gigantic ado, let's jump right into it. So, yeah, it looks like I missed a lot. Really weird. I decided to take time off because I was like, the cryptocurrency market, it'll be just fine. It'll continue consolidating as we had seen over the last couple of months. The prices will go sideways. You know, that whole thing. But lo and behold, nope. It says Bitcoin and Ethereum are consolidating and Maker is outperforming. Apparently, I missed so much, and we're going to try and go over a huge portion of it just so we are kind of all up to date on everything that happened. There's one major event, which of course I'm also going to go over because something seems a little bit weird. It says Dogecoin is holding support at 8 cents as price action remains sluggish. A lot of the news was, of course, very negative as far as pricing, and the future of a lot of the assets. And I use that term extremely broadly. However, this one says Fidelity Macro Analyst says Bitcoin attractively valued at current price. Here's why. A lot of analysts do believe that Bitcoin's price is a bit low right now. I myself am also in that corner. The price seems a little weird, as does the rest of the market. But I think this is simply a symptom of everything else that's happening at the moment. We are living through very weird times. I do not have to tell you, if you have a computer, internet, or have been watching the news, or have been getting texts from your friends, or news, you know what's going on, and it's kind of all over the place. And the cryptocurrency is no longer a question of if it is. The cryptocurrency market is reacting to all of this insanely weird and negative news that we are getting. However, at the same time, in my view, this is not financial advice, of course. Prices look incredibly good when you consider where they were before, even around last year, or where they could potentially go. There was also, I didn't even have it here because I was like, dude, you should cool off for a bit. There was multiple news articles about Plan B, who's roaring back into the news because he says that Bitcoin's price is also looking quite attractive, and he's talking about the next Bitcoin bull run and exactly how high we can go. And I'm like, maybe it's just not the time to talk about Bitcoin going to, $180,000, $350,000 when Bitcoin is like struggling to stay above $30,000. Kind of read the room situation if you can. This one says Bitcoin and Ethereum will outperform equities markets. This was said by a Bloomberg strategist. His idea being, over the next couple of months, we're also going to get into that news as well. The regular stock market is probably not going to look too hot, and people may begin to look for alternative investments, and it could be the cryptocurrency space that gets a good washing or swash of huge. I'm making like a wave motion, like a huge slosh of money flowing into our markets as investors look for gains in some other type of way. Of course, a lot of it was completely as scary as you can possibly think. It says Bitcoin hits a 3-day death cross. Is there more pain coming? Probably. And I'm going to tell you exactly why. We'll get into it in like right now, I guess. For those of you who, and I've noticed there seems to be a relative disconnect between the cryptocurrency space, the stock market space, the gold market, the housing market. And I mean this as far as not that they're not connected monetarily. It's more of a, if you are into crypto, you're usually not into the stock market. If you're into stocks, you're usually not buying gold. If you are buying gold, you are typically a gold head, a gold bug, and you are not really looking into the camp of buying real estate. A lot of, these all merge together financially, but, usually tend to stay in your own camp. Stocks are looking terrible across the board. There are, of course, a couple of companies who are doing pretty well, and their numbers might be going up, but the overall idea is, at least at the time of this month and the next month and the month after, is that stocks are probably going to continue to decline. I'm sure you've seen the videos. I've seen them popping up. Even it's funny trying to, if you ever get a chance or have ever done it, to try and stay away from a topic for a while. The last 2 weeks, I've never been bombarded more with like weird crypto news and or recession, depression news. I mean, it's been all over the place. I don't know if you probably don't know. I watch a lot of like video game things on YouTube normally, so my algorithm I just assumed would have kind of picked that up. Nope, it was just throwing me these weird curveballs the entire time. It is blatantly apparent, at least now, that we are probably more than likely going to enter into a recession, depression-esque type of period within all stock markets sometime relatively soon. I don't know if this one also has it. It says Goldman Sachs lowers its S&P 500 price target for the third time this year and says a recession would cause the stock market to fall another 11%. The most, it's somewhere here. I have so many tabs open. I guess the main takeaway point to kind of bring it on home is that everything is doing bad now. It's not just one thing. It's not just some of them. There's this really weird feeling flowing through all markets that they're going to continue falling because we've kind of, if you look at it in the most logical terms, since 2008, we've spoke about this before, and you'll see a lot of other instances where we're also talking about these things, and you're going to kind of get the full circle of it. The 2008-2009 crisis was never fixed. I know it sounds tinfoil hatty. I know it sounds, this guy's crazy. No, it was never actually fixed. The Federal Reserve and other governments around the world figured out that they needed to basically print tons of money and throw it at the market, make money cheaper for investors to be able to buy and whatever, and use in other manners to show that the market was doing well. This is why it was such a problem. And if you look at the US dollar inflation charts, not even just from 2020, but even before that, you see as money was printed more and more, the stock market kind of adjusted upward as well based on the amount of money that was being printed. This was relatively cheap money, and people were using it to buy things into the market. Around 2020, the US as a whole, I'm going to put that in one big bubble, kind of decided to print an enormous amount of money and to basically throw it at equities and stocks and securities as much as they could to keep the market afloat. Other people saw, bigger investors were like, hey, This is money that they're pumping into the markets. The rest of the market is also going to pump. Therefore, let's throw money into the market. So this two-sided, these trillions of dollars that were thrown into the markets began to pump everything. A lot of people were like, hey, the stock market's making a lot of money. I also want to make some money. This was around the same exact time, you might remember, where people were throwing tons of money into Pokemon cards. And we were getting all this news of graded 10 Charizards going for 6 figures, higher than they had ever gone before. There was that video where one of the Jake brothers, or the Paul brothers, whatever they're called, was like, hey, I just bought a whole bunch of unopened boxes of Pokemon cards, and people were looking for new ways and places to put their money. The Federal Reserve knew what they were doing the entire time, but it's gotten a bit hot. Here's the actual, I think there's a really good chart right here just to kind of explain everything that's really going on, because a lot of the news consistently has to do with crypto's bad, crypto's terrible, crypto's going down. No, my friend, everything is going down right now. And as there blatantly is a connection between us and the stock market, there's definitely a tether there. If they go down, we go down. All monetary, everything goes down. And should we get into a recession or a depression, expect crypto to fall further. I'm just here to bring you the news. I'm just here to tell you exactly what's going on. I try my best not to sugarcoat it. I try and sugarcoat sometimes because sometimes things just sound absolutely terrible if said in a certain way. Don't forget that with the money printing that was going on, we still have the situation of the Federal Reserve announcing that they're going to try and reel a lot of it in. There are a lot of global currencies that are also collapsing. This plays a really big part in the world economy. We also still have the situation going on in Ukraine. This has not stopped. This is leading a lot of people to discuss potentially other scenarios that could go on if this event continues. The world is a mess right now, and cryptocurrencies are going to be swept up into it. There's another news story, which of course we're going to get into in a little bit, that has nothing to do with the reason why the cryptocurrency market is falling or has fallen the way that it did or is. Crypto is a relatively new asset class. If the stock market, which has been around for 100 plus years, is feeling the pain from the Federal Reserve or the printing of money or world events or everything else that's going on, we as a market, the cryptocurrency market, we are also going to feel that person stepping on our toes as well. It's not about us being, oh, we're this different market, we so and so and so. No, we are going to feel all of it. The silver lining here, now hear me out on this one. The silver lining for all of this is that we've seen this before. This has happened to the cryptocurrency market around 3 times. This may be the 4th time where something terrible happens, something detrimental. Markets move down, they fall down. Everyone goes, woe is us. I cannot believe that prices have fallen so low. People who stay in the market, not financial advice, continue to accumulate. And 2 or 3 years later, the market goes back up. There's this euphoric rise because the people who remained in the market are making tons of money. New people get into the market, or old people who left the market try to get into the market, and they go, oh, I need to make money as well. Prices explode. You know the entire story. The same exact thing with the stock market. If you look at it historically, we've gone over this. This is, when I say the word overdue, it's like someone being pregnant for 29 months. We all know that the stock market should have recollapsed in 2012. Nothing was fixed. Prices were going up like crazy. Remember the time when all the when housing prices, were basically worth sand, worth absolutely nothing. And then by 2014, the roaring tens had rolled back in and everyone was buying a home and no one thought about what was happening 5 years before. The same exact thing happens with every single market. Fear can only last for so long. I don't know if you've seen, I don't have it here. I saw one recently a fear and greed index for the crypto market and the stock market, and it's just like it's broken below fear. Like it's just terror at this point. But the human mind cannot have that last forever. Eventually, at some point, I'm not sure if it's collectively, we all sit there and we go, it's time to make some money. There are people who get into the market before. They go, this stock was here. The price is now here. I'm going to start buying some of it. The price goes up. It's around 5% from the previous all-time high from where it was. Everyone begins to buy back in. And that's just how it ends up going. So the silver lining being prices will eventually go back up. It's just a matter of when, and not one person on this planet knows when. Do not believe anyone when they tell you it's going to be tomorrow, in a month. It happens relatively by itself. Here's the last point for the, I think for the price news. Is this actually, yeah. It says inflation isn't going away anytime soon, and the Fed may have to clamp down on it even harder. A very big reason why all markets, once again, are going down. There's actually a really weird timeline. I'm not sure of the exact timing. It looks like every 5 or 6 weeks, the Federal Reserve actually stands on their podium, pedestal, whatever, and declares, we are not going to be moving interest rates. We are going to be moving interest rates. We believe that eventually in the future we could potentially might have the choice to be able to raise interest rates. The clamping down may have to do with raising actual interest rates again. I believe this happened when I was not here. I think interest rates were risen, was it by 0.5%? I've been skimming the news trying to reabsorb as much as I could. And it looks like sometime, I believe on the 1st of June, the Fed may have another announcement that they're going to continue raising interest rates. This has to do with the free money, with them pumping money into the market to make sure that they rise. It looks like the Fed has decided the only way to cool off inflation and cool off everything at the exact same time is to kind of let it fall, to make money not as attractive to be taken out as a loan anymore in some sort of capacity. And this looks like that this is what they're going to do. If they do this and continue to do this during the rest of their meetings over the course of this year, we are going to see the stock market continue to fall. If the stock market continues to fall, we are also going to fall. You must have also been getting videos, or I almost said movies, something out there that has to do with the housing bubble. You're also kind of realizing that housing is kind of expensive. I myself invest in real estate. Looking at some of the numbers, something just isn't right. We know that a number, about 6 companies are buying up huge amounts of real estate on the planet right now. But when you see a studio apartment, and I mean a 320 square feet, a 30-meter squared studio, 280,000, 350,000, recently renovated, 425,000. These prices, you should not have near $500,000 for a studio, but I digress. It kind of looks like everything is just kind of coming due at the exact same time. This is my belief. This is how I feel. I feel that the quicker we can slam down and get to more realistic, reasonable prices, as we even had news in 2019 before, everyone was told to stay home, that tech stocks in the stock market was already looking very overheated. If we were hearing that in 2019 and prices have since tripled, quadrupled since then, it's time to go down to more reasonable levels. We will be there for a while. Just telling you, we will be there for a bit, but then eventually, like always, prices move back up. Yeah, that's all the price news. Everything going on, it's, if you want to be honest, relatively the same as when I left. Crypto's still lightly in the red. The stock market still not looking the best. The depression, recession calls have only increased. What else is going on? Housing market, and there was something else also taking place, but alas, that's currently where we are. So, yeah, that's all the current price news. And without further ado, let's move on. So, here's the largest news story of the day. And I'm going to give you what I can because something doesn't feel right. I'm going to give you the backstory as much as I know, and then I'm going to actually give you my opinion. About 3 or 4 days ago, my friends knew that I was taking some time off. But I started to get these messages. Hey, did you see what happened? Did you see what's going on? Did you own any of this? I did not own any Terra Luna or Terra UST when everybody was texting me. What I got was from the entire situation was that allegedly there was a company or a very large holder of Bitcoin who had it locked in Terra reserves. They allegedly sold off $50 billion was the number that I received, worth of that peg from the $50 billion, and sold it when it was supposed to have been used as a stability mechanism for Terra, for Terra's stablecoin. This, of course, if you imagine sitting in a chair and someone kicks away 3 of the legs, you're going to begin to fall. As people were realizing that they were missing 3 of their chair legs, apparently things happened behind the scenes where allegedly people from Terra were trying to get things under control. They saw that a peg had been lost. I believe it fell to 92 or 93 cents, and they were working behind the scenes to try and fix it. Apparently, there was another huge sell-off of Bitcoin in the background from some other player who had reserves in Terra Luna's stablecoin, and that's when the price began to fall for the stablecoin. It officially lost its $1 peg, and then the actual Terra Luna began to fall as well. And this was just a 12-hour cascade of price. And as far as I've seen, the price fell by around 99.99% repeating. I think I saw news stories of this YouTube celebrity who had $2.6 million worth of Terra, and now he only has, I think, $25 or something. I sat there trying to stay away from the market, but I was absorbed into the idea that this had actually happened. I was actually sitting at a table with a friend. I don't know if we were having cake. I don't know what we were having. Hello, friend. And I was like, what in the world actually took place with all of this stuff? For those of you not looking at the screen, it says, did a concerted attack cause Terra's stablecoin to crash below $1? An executive behind the largest stablecoin and experts agree it is suspicious. It takes, and I'm going to tell you exactly why it's suspicious, and I'm certain at this point this was done in a malicious manner. When you are making a stablecoin, or when your stablecoin has become large enough, I'm going to put it to you in that frame, money begins to flow into your ecosystem. Remember all the issues and problems, and I'm air quoting there, that people used to have before with Tether, and all those conversations have completely been washed away, and it's been added to Coinbase and Binance and Kraken, etc., etc. When your coin becomes so big and people can begin to audit it, look into it, look at its code, they go, this is relatively safe. We're going to put it onto our website. We're going to put it onto our so-and-so, onto regulated spaces, because it seems like, it's absolutely fine. And this is when the big investors begin to get in. I don't believe that Terra's stablecoin at any point was seen as unsafe. I think Terra being added to a number of different websites and cryptocurrency exchanges, usually if there's any type of sleuth or digging or detective work done, I can't find the word, or done on any coin before it gets added to a cryptocurrency exchange, I'm going to assume the second largest, I believe it was the second largest at that point, stablecoin in the world, probably had some looking into by professional anyone in the cryptocurrency space. And they were like, this is fine to actually list on the cryptocurrency exchange. It takes a huge amount of money and it takes a huge amount of financial knowledge to know exactly how to manipulate a market. We've had discussions, me, you, I, us, a lot of times about what I call corporation coins. These are coins that I saw popping up at the end of 2017 and 2018, and these coins were touted as, use us, we're amazing, we are also decentralized, can you not tell? And I was like, these coins seem a little bit weird, they pop up out of nowhere. They also had their own stable coins and stuff like that, and people were told to use these coins. I'm not going to name them. You can easily find them. I think one of them was made by, I believe, a cryptocurrency exchange. Another one begins with the letter A, and they began to pop up, and they were touted as these new ways, instead of using Ethereum, or this was even before Tron, Cardano, and EOS and other coins began to pop up, use this blockchain instead. They began to have their own stable coins, and this I remember so many articles. Use this stable coin as opposed to Tether. Tether's terrible. Tether's having a bad time. And I was like, why are they hounding Tether so much? Like Tether is on all the crypto exchanges. They had done, I believe, 3 reports as to what they were holding. Remember the entire thing when the news was Tether doesn't hold 100% US dollar reserves. And I was like, well, that's fine. They told us that before. The reserves that they were holding to peg Tether to the $1 thing had to do with them holding, they said, gold and other equities and other commodities and other securities that equaled the amount of money. And I believe you can tell exactly or see exactly what they have, and based off of the amount, whatever, you kind of get the point. My idea was, when I saw this, I was like, wow, that's really crazy. I was like, I wonder what happened. And then when I started reading news about billions of dollars worth of Bitcoin being sold off. This is also, for those of you who don't know, it's believed that this was also one of the main catalysts for Bitcoin's drop over the last 10 days. People apparently saw a $50 billion Bitcoin sell-off and assumed that that money was being taken out of the Terra Luna protocol to be sold. It is very difficult for someone, anyone, anything to move $50 billion worth of Bitcoin and for people to not take notice of it, or if there are rumors going around that $50 to $100 billion worth of Bitcoin may be sold off, that's going to move the market downwards. I think this was clearly some source of dramatic, hyper insane, concerted attack. Doesn't even begin to explain what this was. This was the craziest form of manipulation that we have ever seen to date in the cryptocurrency market. The people who have the most to gain from this, in my opinion, are governments and people who have their own, and I'm not using the term broadly for stablecoin. I don't think this was something from other stablecoin holders or creators, but something is definitely not right here. It takes once again, you have to know how to collapse an economy to be able to do something like this. The thing that also didn't surprise me, as I was looking around for news today, it says Terra is like a crypto pyramid scheme. This was said by activist investor Bill Ackman. Right. The idea of if that's the case, the entire cryptocurrency market, the entire stock market, the entire housing market, all of these things are also pyramid schemes. It's about the person at the top of the pyramid who owns the most, who tells everyone else, dude, housing prices are going up. You still haven't gotten a mortgage to buy a house? My friend owns 5,000 Tesla stock, dude. He bought that years ago. You don't have any Tesla stock, and then you get into the situation where you buy 3 Tesla stock, you tell someone else you made some money. These then are all pyramid schemes. We are going to be hearing over the next couple of days, I can feel it in my bones, that a lot of people, I do not know who this Bill Ackman person is, but start paying attention to the people who are screaming the loudest that this is a problem, that Luna is a problem, that they knew from the very beginning that Luna was going to crash, who then start telling you to either get out of the cryptocurrency market or to start worrying about other stablecoins. Start paying attention to if they have their own stablecoin. Start paying attention to if they announce that they're creating their own stablecoin, have their own stablecoin, or if their coin is going to be regulated, because regulation is the only way. There were way too many of these popping up with people talking about, yeah, something seemed a bit off for a couple of months. I didn't buy into it, but I actually am into that other coin over there. This is all, I mean, it's too perfect for it not to have been something. There have been other coins. What was that coin that was just 51% attacked for the 6th or 7th time this year? And that coin went up in price by 2% every time that it happens. When you are 51% attacked, or when you turn your blockchain off, and in that case, they were running a database. You cannot turn a blockchain off and then restart it. That's called a database. Even that coin did not go down by 90%. Someone knew exactly what they were going to do. The other really big news for Luna Terra is apparently the creator, the CEO, the person, head honcho, I don't know, has announced that they're going to, or they have announced that they are thinking of potentially forking the chain. I've seen a number of articles like, this is a bad idea, this doesn't seem right, that you should keep the original chain. No. Tons of other coins have forked before. Ethereum is a fork of Ethereum Classic. Bitcoin has forked many times. Many of these forks were upgrades, but don't forget all the people who used to really love and live for all the other Bitcoin forks. If something highly detrimental happens to a coin, usually the creators come out and say, in order to save investor funds, I'm not sure explicitly how this is done. I am not a crypto mathematician. They announce that they are going to fork it. The idea usually being you can make a brand new chain and they can look at the old chain and say, okay, this person held 35. Once again, this is not investment advice. I know it's the third time I'm saying it, but you have to understand when you talk about being a risky asset class, this is it. The idea normally is you can say, let's fork the old chain to create a brand new chain that kind of runs parallel to it for a while. You look at the old addresses and say, anyone, if you held 100 Luna on the new chain, you will hold 100 Luna 2.0. That's kind of the idea. I think none of this has been solidified, but this particular portion of news completely, I mean, really outshadowed even any other news of price movements within the cryptocurrency space. This was the news of the day. That I don't know this guy's full name, Kwon, Kwon, announced that they're thinking of forking Terra Luna to help get back some investor money. I'm sure there's a lot of anger floating around in the space, but you have to also, and I think of it this way. These people probably lost an enormous amount of money and a huge amount of credibility in the space. So they are also as incentivized to make sure that not only can they fork this, that they can get people's money back, that they can make a brand new coin that you will probably get airdropped or get some of as well if they are forking the chain, to bring some type of renewal back into the coin. That, I mean, very, just touching on the point, apparently a recovery plan has been announced. Nothing has been finalized, but the moment it is, you better believe people will be talking about it. Now, here's the, if you want to take your, what is it? Almost said silver coned hat, silver foil hat, and just rest it on your ear. You can place it there. A lot of the news that I saw as well, when I say that this was planned, I have a really weird feeling that this was planned. For those of you not looking at the screen, it says with UST's depegging, lunacy, that is, Luna and then CY, out in the open, regulators begin to get jittery. I'm going to show you an article. I'm not sure if is it here? Is it there? I think this is it. Is this it? Yeah, remember, you might remember this. Everything connects in the cryptocurrency space. And it's not even like it connects oddly, it connects way too well. This is an article from the 6th of April, more than a month ago of this year. It says top U.S. lawmaker proposes sweeping stablecoin regulation framework. Do you remember when we were talking about this particular topic? And it's not the most alluring or the most beautiful topic to talk about. And I think it can get looked over so easily simply because most people aren't invested in stablecoins. Most people don't have stablecoins. People tend to... The cryptocurrency space is very tribal. If I saw these people talking about it as well. I only hold Bitcoin. What happened to Luna was totally their fault. I only hold Ethereum or several other Ethereum-based coins. What happened to Luna was totally their fault. I only use Coinbase coin. Tether is having such problems right now. It's always as long as it's not happening to my house and it's happening to the house across the street, I could care less. When you hear about this entire community needs to unify, I know that it won't happen because humans have a very difficult time unifying for anything, even if it's the most logical thing. However, I digress. The idea of stablecoin regulation is not new, but the idea has ramped up heavily in the last couple of years. I think this is also another one right here. Yes, you may remember this news. This is from the 30th of July, 2019. Why is this news significant? For those of you not looking at the screen, it says millions in crypto is crossing the Russia-China border daily. There, Tether is king. The news article basically was people in those countries realized if they wanted to do commerce, it was very difficult. You had to go to an ATM, you had to go to a bank, you had to get physical money. And when you crossed said border to do business at a flea market, at any kind of market, at whatever the case might have been, you had to go to one of those exchange points. You had to walk up physically to it, and you had to hand them your paper money. You had to look at what the current rate for trading was, and you had to hand them the money. They had to take their commission because there's always a commission. You got your money back. You went to the supermarket. You got what you needed. You get the point. It's a long, complex process that we no longer in the future have to do, but people are still told to do this to this day. These people figured out we can just use a stable coin, and they started to use Tether. The idea is pegged 1-to-1 to the US dollar. The US dollar is the world reserve currency. It's relatively stable, the most stable of all the other currencies out there. Let's use this to do commerce instead. And it worked out for a while until regulators and governments figured out what they were doing, and the gigantic boot from the sky and squashed them and said, no, you cannot do this at all. And this is when the idea of regulating stablecoins came into question. How do we regulate this? How do we stop them from being used? There were millions of dollars. Think of it this way. There were millions of dollars just within these border towns, just there, that were being used as a means of transacting back and forth in crypto. You as a country printing out the money that everyone is supposed to have faith in and use without question. When people stop using that currency, what happens to your power? You begin to lose it. Everything is connected all the time, every day. This question of, well, we got to regulate stablecoins because they're evil. They're evil. Yeah, let's use the word evil. They're only used by bad actors or people who are doing illicit things. Yeah, that sounds about correct because we're going to continue hearing that over the next couple of weeks as well. Why would we be hearing about that right now? Why would the idea of and also, as far as I heard as well, Tether, the top stablecoin in the world, I think apparently also lost their peg for like a couple of minutes or something. I think Tether dropped down a little tiny bit, and apparently that was also in the news for a while. Doesn't it seem a little weird that regulators don't like stablecoins? We had news a couple of weeks ago that the SEC is apparently trying to get complete control over every stablecoin. One of the top stable coins happens to randomly lose its peg, causing the rest of the cryptocurrency market to also drop down. People who hate the cryptocurrency market are now coming out in full force to talking about how terrible it is. Stable coins can't even take their peg. Tether loses its peg. And now we're getting all this. There's also other news. I don't have all the tabs up here. There's also other news about other regulators around the world talking about, well, now's the time. We really have to regulate these stable coins. Doesn't something seem a little bit off, especially as we've been getting all this news recently about governments creating their own stable coins called a central bank digital currency? Remember when I told you before? It's so interesting to see that you could have a stable coin on a crypto exchange, and you, by leaving your money on that exchange, you get a 6-7% yearly return on your money, when your bank is giving you 0.02%. And that's as much as the bank would even think of probably giving you at any given point in time. That's why I said keep your tinfoil hat just hanging on your ear, not on your head, but place it on your ear. It's close enough. Doesn't it seem a little weird that all this is coinciding at the exact same time? The cryptocurrency market not only goes down, but it has another, I call this a smear campaign. Why are the largest stable coins now weirdly losing their peg? Why are so many other things in the crypto space now being demonized? Why are regulators now talking about they want complete control over stable coins? It has to do with money. People are, and it's just simple math. Remember the news that we used to get in 2017 and 2018 that there were roughly, I think it was believed around 10, 15, 20, somewhere around there, million people actually in the cryptocurrency space. By mid-2021, sometime in 2022, we got the news that there were allegedly over 100 million to 150 million in the cryptocurrency space. If this number continues and more people leave the old traditional system, he who prints the money has the power. What happens when you no longer, as a government, have the power? It doesn't seem like it because it's literally all happening in the airwaves around us. Like it's happening through the Wi-Fi. It's happening through, the cables and all this other stuff. But crypto, and I'm not trying to be a crypto evangelist. It's just more of the more people that realize that the old system is broken and they can move to a new system, they're going to do so. The people who run the current system have realized a long time ago, years ago, that they're losing people's faith. No one really cares about the dollar. Even I've seen some really weird videos before. There was a video a couple of years ago where they were asking, random people in the mall. The general look of people in crypto, let's be honest with ourselves, is between 18 to 44 years old, and they are usually male. And they were asking people, and once again, just imagine the opposite of that. They were asking people in malls and on the streets, exact opposite, and not even just women. And the point is, they were asking them, do you own Bitcoin? And these people were like, no, but I really want to buy some. They were asking other people, do you think that crypto is the future? And some of their responses, and you would never expect this person to be at a cryptocurrency event. They were like, well, actually, Bitcoin's definitely going to be the future. The point is, wrapping it all up, because I can feel myself floating further and further away from the actual topic. This is all a little weird for me. I believe that Terra was explicitly attacked. Do we know who? I do not know, but the timing of it seems a little weird. Tether losing its peg, even if for a couple of seconds or a couple of minutes, also seems a little... I assume that one was also an attack. Because what happens when you get the top stable coins to collapse in your cryptocurrency market, and you can also bring down the rest of the prices? The corporations and the corporation coins who have stable coins, where they go, well, we've believed for a very long time that regulators had to come in. Ours is completely regulated, 1,000% transparent, and, we're proud to announce that we're going to be listed on Coinbase and on Kraken and on Binance. And everyone goes, yeah, we need regulations. This is all manipulation. Remember how all the time, every single time that we got news of a billionaire who hated the cryptocurrency market, who thought it was terrible, who thought it was so-and-so, I made sure to bring you that news of the day that they flipped and went, Bitcoin's incredible. You know, Bitcoin's going to change the world. Bitcoin is definitely, and I'm like, 3 years ago, you told everyone and their mother not to even look at the market. I assume you own hundreds of millions of dollars worth of Bitcoin now. And now you're telling people to get into the market. Pay attention to the news over the next couple of days. Something very, very odd is going on. And I personally myself believe that it's all hyper connected. Something is going on where central banks, listen, as a central bank who prints out money, you are the most powerful entity on this planet. What happens when a man named Quan creates a cryptocurrency with his friends? I'm, assuming here, and they create a stable coin that has even a chance to rival a central bank currency, paper money. And I mean, even if it's just 15 to 20 countries on the planet. What happens when all these countries are trying to announce that they're creating or looking into or launching their central bank digital currencies, and people prefer to use Tether or Luna as opposed to digital US dollar, digital yen, digital euro? You get my point. And this article right here was not the only one. We had tons of these at the time. Tons of people realized that they could just simply use stable coins or even use crypto to do commerce. That's why the idea of an entire country having Bitcoin as legal tender is so huge. It's the idea that, well, they kind of figured it out. And it doesn't even have to explicitly just be Bitcoin. It could literally just be a country adopting a stable coin. That is also incredibly... Anyway, so yeah, as this continues to unravel, unfold, we will definitely get more news about it, but something's off here. I can't be the only one who feels it. No coin loses 99.9% of their value. None. None of them. Especially a coin as huge as that. This was done by someone to make sure that that fell, because somewhere behind the scenes, there's a bank, there's an institution, there's a stable coin who's trying to be number one. Because if the cryptocurrency market takes off, and I'm not talking about 100K Bitcoin, I mean in 15 years down the line, we have a $3.8 million Bitcoin, and crypto is it. Like, crypto is the market to be in. Who's the most powerful person who runs that stable coin? You desperately, as a bank or an institution, will do terrible things and make people lose millions of billions of dollars to make sure that your stable coin is number 5 on the list and you are the one who has control over it. Terrible. It's really terrible. Like, this wasn't done organically. This coin did not lose 99.9% of its value because of that. If that's the case, every other coin should be collapsing, and I mean right now. Like, literally, they're all 1 cent. Bitcoin's at $4. So that's the Terra news as we have it right now. We will definitely get more news, definitely, as far as the fork that could potentially be happening sometime during the rest of this week. Yeah, that's all the something's wrong here, something's amiss news. And let's move on. This is also one of them as well. This ties directly into it, by the way. Sorry about that. It says European Union could start testing a central bank digital currency in 2023. Last week, a respected stablecoin collapsed in days, destroying a whole ecosystem. Fabio Panetta from the European Central Bank believes central bank digital currencies fix this. Unless you're driving or holding a baby, raise your hand if you think that it's totally possible that a central bank, nonetheless the European Central Bank, would have worked with a company to make sure that they destroy stable coins before their central bank digital currencies are released. I assume about a good 60% of you have raised your hands. Doesn't it seem a little weird that this is all happening right now at the exact same time? that this is the thing that's raising alarms for the regulators? All right. Moving on. In the second most popular news story of the day, and I think this is the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my entire life. Portugal's days as a crypto tax haven may be numbered. I'm sure a couple of ears just perked up. Minister of Finance Fernando Medina announced on Friday before a full meeting of Portugal's parliament that crypto assets in the country soon will be subject to capital gains taxes, per a Portuguese news outlet Echo. The statement constitutes, a dramatic shift in Portugal's attitude towards crypto. Since 2018, the country has treated cryptocurrency as an exchange of money, not of investments, therefore excusing crypto from any capital gains tax, which are currently at 28%. Due to an effective tax rate of 0, Portugal has earned a reputation as one of the most attractive crypto tax havens in the world. In part because of this, Lisbon, the capital, has become a global crypto hub. I know a number, not a few, a number of people who have moved, were deciding to move, or planned on moving to Portugal because of their 0% cryptocurrency tax status. That is probably, I am certain, I'm not sure why they did this. It's money. It's money, it's money, it's money, it's money, it's money. Someone behind the scenes looked into this, saw how much money was being made from cryptocurrencies within Portugal, and now the government, in their own right, is trying to and is going to tax it. It has to do with greed. Simple as that. They realize that there's so much money being made, they want a portion of it, but we all know what's going to happen. Remember when I told you jokingly and not jokingly, year and some years ago, every time this happens, people go online, they find a bus, they find a train, they find a plane, and they go somewhere else that has favorable and or 0% tax laws, because the only reason why Lisbon has boomed as a cryptocurrency capital is because of the 0% tax. The idea being, for other countries similar to Dubai, the idea is if you are taxed nothing on these investments, you typically are going to start reinvesting in the country. Let's say you, hypothetically, make $1 million from crypto, 0% tax as opposed to 28% tax. The extra money that you make, you go, well, I kind of live here now. I want to buy some investment properties, and you start buying these properties, and you have to pay a tax as you buy the property, which then goes to the country. You also then pay these monthly taxes that also, land taxes, land fees, what have you. These also go to the country as well. So this is kind of the alternative way to tax these investments. And this is what many other smart countries have kind of done, because I am certain in the future, any country that has over a 10% tax on crypto is not going to make it. It's just, I can feel it. For those of you who also didn't see it, I think this happened a couple weeks ago. Germany announced a new tax law. There we go. On staking within the country. The idea being, as far as I got from my friends living in Germany, if you hold crypto for a year, 365 days, on the 366th day, if you sell your crypto, you pay 0% taxes. 0. This was also just reiterated by the country a couple of days ago. And they also announced that there was a previous tax on if you were staking your coins. So let's say you had an Ether, you decided to stake that Ether, and you decided to sell it. I don't want my Ether anymore. You sell your Ether, you get taxed on it. The new law says if you are staking your coins, here we go again, and you hold them for over 365 days and you sell that staked coin, you pay no taxes. Germany has a lot of really good taxes if you're rich. They also have a tax if you own property in Germany, and I believe you live in the property. I think that's it for 3 years. 3. And you sell your house, you pay, say it with me, 0% taxes. And they also have another one. If you have property in Germany and you are renting it out for 10 years, to get passive income or rental income, and you sell it after 10 years, say it with me, you pay 0% taxes. So I understand why the government would be doing this. I'm sure they see all this green money not entering their pockets, but it's not going to work. People aren't going to stay in Portugal simply because it's sunny and probably is amazing. They're there because of a 0% tax rate. I'm sure people have heard this news and they're trying to now move to Dubai or Puerto Rico or a whole bunch of other places. Yeah, this was also, this was, I don't want to say popular news, but it was everywhere. I was actually quite shocked. I'm really shocked because I'm sure they've seen a huge amount of money flow into their country, into their ecosystem. People who live in Portugal are buying from Portuguese companies and Portuguese restaurants and Portuguese stores, and they're buying television, and all this stuff is already taxed. But, and I don't want to use the word greed. Governments say that they use taxes for certain reasons, what have you. But I'm pretty sure that this is, they want a gigantic, a 28% slice of that pie, but it's not going to work out for them, because, logic. Yeah. That's the Portugal news. I'm very, very shocked to hear this news. Very, very shocked to hear it. People will be leaving that country in mass, or people who are, crypto investors at least. Because 28%, 43%, 50%, that's not how the future is going to be working. Alrighty, that's the Portugal news. Let's move on. Yeah, as always, hello again. A very special thank you to my Patreon supporters, GBU Wally, Bubble Mode. How's Life Austin? How is Life Austin? I haven't heard from you in a while. Auspicious Agile and Blockchain, Jamie Saad, Blockchain Simplified, and let's move on. Empire Queen, Fudweiser, I did get your message. Thank you for sending it. Roman Gaba, Bitcoin Ben, Arachno Dave, Tony Ambroski, The Dealer's Den, Captain Something, and the Z-Way Lay, Mo Barazi, VB Nerd 21, Miguel Grolet, Lauren De Silva, Quoted Biddy, Troy Allgood, Space Case, Need a Miracle, Paternoster, Navarro Williams, Utopia 569, Moonman High, XRP, Martin Steuer, Nostromo, John Sarson, The Animal Reader, A Bibliophobia, Todd Mullis, Adam Graysick, Wise Night Owl, 242 to the World, Bankroll Network, Crypto Artist, Cole D3D, Setsuna, Richie Rich III, Paxis, Nick Mangialavori, Jim Gardner, Jeremy Fox, Minting Coins, Yes to Crypto, Bodie McBoatface, still good, Anytime Fitness, Monk's Corner Staff, Bake Me a Cake, Tigger Macho Nisa, On Crypto with Lionel, and Crayola Michelle URL. It's weird. It feels nice to say those names again. I say them every day, but it feels, like I kind of missed it. Thank you. Thank you, all of you, very, very much for your continued support. Thank you to everyone who has left a like, who has left a comment or multiple comments, who has subscribed. Thank you to everyone who checked in on me. Thank you to everyone who's still here watching. Thank you for all the support. Just really, really, and I truly, truly mean it. It's nice to have viewers and watchers, or this community just of nice people. Because years ago, I told all of you, whoa, Polkadot is number 11 and it's at $11.11. Everybody make a wish. It's just nice to have nice messages, because years ago, I used to get very mean messages all the time. So, yeah. At the moment, Bitcoin is at $30,419. It is currently up by 2.91%. Over the last 24 hours, I myself, I'll be honest with you, I'm actually quite shocked that we are even at these numbers. As far as when I heard that the market had collapsed, I thought we were at a $20,000 Bitcoin. Like, I thought the poop had hit the fan. Like, I thought we were really like low. These numbers seem believable. simply because remember a couple of months ago, we were also here. You must remember when we were at a $28,000 Bitcoin and people were like, if we pass by 31,000, we're going to move back up. And then it was 34,000. Remember when 38,000 became the new, like, if we hit that, we hit 42,000. So we were here not too long ago. This isn't a terribly crazy woe is us number for me. If we were at like an $8,000 Bitcoin, I'd be like, whoa, what's going on? Or even like a $400 Ether. At that point, I'd be buying so much Ether. If I had woke up this morning, check prices, and we had a $400 Ether, I'd be filling my bags. Not financial advice, but I mean, come on. Something's definitely there. Yeah. So it's USD coin and Tether now as the top stable coins. The market's in green. It's very interesting to see. I wonder why per se. It's more of a, will this continue? For me, and this is how I deal with things mentally. Just assume prices will drop. You will be less disappointed in the short and long term. I don't know how else to really say that. Solana is up by 6%. Avalanche is up by 2%. I'm very interested to see exactly where Terra Luna is at all. I have a feeling it's down. Litecoin is up by 5%. Listen, prices are in green. I mean, I see over the last 7 days down by 35% and down by 19%, but silver lining and all that. Has anything like dramatically? Oh, okay. ApeCoin is at $8. I think the last time I was here, I think it was $22 or $23. I forgot how many I bought, but alas, a loss is a loss. Decentralized. Oh, okay. These prices aren't. These are kind of prices that I kind of wanted to get in on. I saw another article. I mean, many articles. These people are ridiculous. Talking about that the NFT prices have also collapsed, and I'm like, if you just really zoom out and just look at everything has kind of collapsed. That's just kind of how the market is. But a lot of the NFT prices they're right up my alley. They're like exactly where I kind of want them to be. I've been buying so many of them. I bought some, what was that? That Nike box thing. I don't know what that is. It has weird letters. It's missing vowels. I bought some of those. I bought some digital sneakers. I bought a whole bunch of stuff. Prices, they look not too bad to me, at least in my eyes. Especially like the what is this? All the metaverse coins. Once again, and I mean, when I say the word extremely, like write the word extremely in your mind or write it on a piece of paper and then bold it, italicize it, put little sparkles around it. Extremely volatile, crazy, ridiculous, weird, could potentially go to zero market. I myself, I look at these prices and I'm like, if the metaverse does take off, these prices are quite attractive. You gotta at least admit some of that. Is this it? Wow, no way. It's at 13 cents. It's still coin number 43. How the fudge is that even possible? It is literally coin number 43. This was a stable coin. I don't understand. I just assumed this would be like coin number 9,000 or something like that at this point. What's the market cap? 100,000 million. It's still $1.4 billion. How wild would it be? Here's a weird scenario that I'm going to say may never happen because, the cryptocurrency market is weird. How weird would it be if this ends up re-getting its peg, or if the new forked Luna ends up going to like $2 or $3? Wouldn't that be really weird? Because Terra Luna's price was like $110 or something like that. Was it 100? I mean, it was 100 something. Definitely 100 something. I'm gonna say 110. It sounds nice. Went down to dust. Imagine, that'd be crazy. But crazier things have happened in this market. Pancake Swap is up by 4%. Okay. Wow. EOS is at $1.37. Geez, I missed all of this. Geez, actual wheeze. Yeah. Despite all the madness, I do hope that you've all enjoyed. I am back. I am definitely back. So I will be making videos regularly as I normally have been doing. I thank you for all the support, all the well wishes, all the caring messages as well. I know it sounds a bit cheesy, but I mean, it does mean a lot. Like, imagine if you had gone somewhere for a while and you had nothing but messages of people being like, "Hey dude, you okay?" It's a very nice feeling. I thank all of you from the bottom of my digital heart. I do hope that you've all enjoyed. I do hope that you all are having a great day, a great morning, a great afternoon, a great evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I do hope that it is absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching, listening, and or supporting, or just being a cool person, and I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.